Hey there, Dallas Drainage Pros. My name is John, and we are doing a sump pump today. So I'm just going to take you step by step on just how you do that and what is all involved in installing one. This is our little giant 4/10 horsepower sump pump with the assembly that goes with it. Pretty basic here. So this is your pump. It screws in here, goes up. And then this right here is the backflow prevention, and it prevents water from going back down the pipe, because if that were to happen, this pump would constantly stay running. So you want, once the water gets out, that it drains down and doesn't keep flowing back down the pipe. Use a attachment like this, 4.5 inch adapter bit. Creates a nice, quick, easy hole for the pipe to fit through. It's going to sit down in this, and the pump goes down in there. But you'll notice here that the entry holes are designed higher than where the sump pump's going to sit. So whenever you cut out your discharge lines into the basin, they want to be higher than the pump itself. It's good to use a zip tie to keep the cables pulled to the side. That's the float right there. When that comes up, it engages the pump. And you can see by the height of it, this pump is supposed to be standing in water at all times. It's not until the float engages, once the entire pump is submerged, that it engages. And that is by design. So then the cables just run out, and it's a matter of getting this thing positioned right and tying in our discharge line. Looking good. This is just the 2-inch discharge line that the pump is going to push out through. So a lot of people think that water drains directly into a basin, but actually it's just a collection point. Water drains from other areas. For example, this basin, this fills with water, sends it down the pipe, and then drops it into the basin where the pump is held. This will actually be covered with a lid that will be screwed on tight, and the only water that will come into the basin directly will be from these lines, tying in from the gutters, tying in from another basin, and like this, tied in from this basin. So for that reason, your sump pump does not need to be at the lowest area. In fact, it should not be. The lowest area in this case was right here, and then we offset it in a strategic location based on everything else that we were tying into it. So consider that when deciding where to place a sump pump. Probably one of the trickier parts of getting a sump pump installed is making sure you have the right electrical availability. In this case, we did not, so we had to bring out the electrician to adapt what was already here and create a second outlet. And of course, that's a whole different science, so we bring out the professionals for that. And then this will tie in directly underneath. This cord will be cut and rewired so that it is weather tight inside that box. As always, doing our water test. Put the hose in, turn on the water, and watch it work. That didn't take long. Throw it in there, and remember, this thing needs to be constantly submerged in water. So there's going to always be water in this basin with the sump pump, and it's not until it gets to a certain level that the pump engages. So you can see that basically that float has to be going the other direction before it engages the pump, and that's to maintain that this pump stays constantly submerged in water. So it's important to notice the height of where these discharge lines are set in relation to the sump pump. Obviously, the discharge line needs to be above where that float is going to be, because otherwise the float possibly might not go high enough to engage the pump, because the water in this basin would back up the line and it would prevent it from flowing. So if you don't have enough depth, you might have to get a larger basin in order to get this thing to function correctly. You can see we're right there on the border. And there it goes. And that thing drains fast. I'd say that's working pretty good.